Meanwhile, in a police station somewhere near Epsom...
Come here, Baronaldo. What the hell were you doing down at Pearson's office? You're going to blow this bloody case, being so flange-mutteringly reckless. I give you one bloody inch and you've gone and taken several bloody feet. I mean, what do you have to say for yourself, huh? Speak up. Speak up, man, because I'm about 30 seconds away from going to the lavatory all over you in utter disgust.
Well,
spit it out, you bastard. Don't make me read you the bloody riot act. I'm the chief. I have meaty thighs. I once sat next to Elizabeth Hurley with only mild dribbling. I'm a man of honour. I own a bowler hat. What on earth could you be doing here in my oak-lined, leather-smelling, Scotch-drenched office like some sort of petulant otter with a fur-wasting disease?
Well,
Jesus H. Peterman Cockingworth Christ the Eighth on a swing bin in Cleethorpes. Stand up straight, man. Square out those bloody shoulders and explain yourself, or I am marching you out of here and kicking your flabsome behind to the proverbial bloody curb.
Well, somebody owes me for the pizza.
What?
I feel I've come in at a bad time.
What bloody cocking bloody pizza are you referring to, you wretched spineless whelk? I've defecated larger flecks of Weetabix than you.
Well, that pizza, that one there in your hand.
I don't have a pizza in my hand, you worm. I'm the chief. I eat fine figs glazed in Swiss egg jellies. I pot my own boar meat with a special recipe Mater told me that involves grinding my own goji berries into a paste and smearing liberally onto a carcass. I don't think I've ever even sniffed a pizza, although my gardener tells me it's a bit like quiche, but, you know, for sensible people instead of the kind of tutu-wearing nonsenses that might eat quiche. In fact, if you have time, I met a man who ate quiche once and I shot him right in the chest. He thanked me later after he'd healed up and his wife had left him for being a coward who got shot and ate quiche. Actually, me and his wife had a ribald affair while he lay dying in the hospital. I took her to Papua New Guinea. Or I made her call me Papua New Guinea while we were in flagrante delicto. I can't remember which. I just know that the love-making was quite beautiful. Anyway, that man today is the special envoy to Chad, and I happen to know once brushed past Maggie Smith and her Greggs trying to buy as many sausage rolls as humanly possible.
Well, be that as it may, sir, you do have a slice of pizza, sir. It's right there in your hand.
This is a delightful neckerchief, dear boy.
That's a slice of pizza.
It's a neckerchief. Why, only this morning my wife Harold said that I looked splendid in cravats.
Your wife's name is Harold?
Harold can be a woman's name. She's from Wales. She says it's quite common over there.
Well, look, sir, it's just I bought the squadron 17 pizzas in the last 4 days, and I just think the responsibility of paying for these things should be shared.
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't had any pizza, just this absolutely bloody splendid throat adornment that I really think brings out the mushroom in my eyes. Let me ask Tamilhaz if he's had pizza. Tamilhaz, get your rear in here, will you, Sergeant?
Yeah, Chief.
Pizza, Tamilhaz. It's come to my attention that Baronaldo here is sick of paying for all the pizzas.
Oh, no, I haven't had any pizza, sir. Not since I was 16. I lost my virginity to my girlfriend, Alan.
Your teenage girlfriend was called Alan?
Yeah, she was Welsh, sir.
Well, looks like we have something in common then.
You've got something else in common too. You're both holding a slice of pizza.
What, this?
Yes, that slice of pizza.
Oh, this isn't pizza, Baronaldo.
Oh, this isn't pizza, I can assure you that.
That isn't pizza. Well, you tell him, Tamilhaz. I can't believe he doesn't know.
It's an earring. Yeah, it's an earring for my girlfriend, Simon.
Welsh?
Oh, definitely. And you should see the size of her balls.
Oh, marvellous.
Look, I know it's pizza and you know it's pizza. There's pepperoni on it, for tit's sake. It's dripping cheese on your shoe. It's the most obvious slice of pizza I have ever seen. It couldn't be more a slice of pizza if it tried. But I guess you don't care. Just a lot of chuckles at old Baronaldo's expense. You know, I used to dream of being a cop. When I was young, I used to go around all the local knocking shops and they'd pay me off with cash and favours to stop me from arresting them. I've always wanted this. I used to bully the smaller kids, especially if they were foreign or had a foreign-sounding name. or had a slight tan, or just anyone, really. I used to bully just about anyone. I love wearing a uniform. I have it sewn a little tighter, actually, so it really accentuates my hips and chest, and so that I can really look impressively fascist and almost like I'm in drag, which I do at the weekends but don't tell anyone about because I live in desperate fear of who I really am. But I can't believe I have to take all the illegal protection money I make and spend it on bloody pizza. I guess I'm just going to suck this one up, pay for another pizza, and hope that one day one of you does the right thing at some point. I didn't get to be Chief Baronaldo by doing the right thing. Only hippies and delinquents do the right thing. Stinking long hairs going around. It's like you can't even tell if they're Welsh or not. Okay, well, thank you. And another thing, Baronaldo, if you ever come in here again, whining like a pranny, telling us your life story, trying to extort money from us for our debonair fashion accessories, then Tamelhaz and I will take you down to the cellar, strap you to our big, wobbly, vibrating bench down there, and force you to listen to the after-movie diner for hours. The after-movie diner, sir? Yes, the after-movie diner. What is that, sir? Oh, my goodness, you hideous waste of clothes slumped against a worthless flesh sack of donkey poop. You don't know the after-movie diner? Right, Tamelhaz, get 80 feet of rubber tubing and hit that big red button over there. Right you are, sir.
You're listening to the sweet sounds of the After Movie Diner. Support us at patreon.com/After Movie Diner. Or I'll punch you in the teats. Rate and review us on iTunes, Earthling. And now, here's your host, John Cross.
All right. I'm going to turn the recording volume down just a little bit. I'm trying to do my levels here. I'm trying to be professional.
That's good. Most times people do that before the recording starts.
Well, I have to be able to see the little waveform.
The little lines,
yeah, the little lines. Hello and welcome to the After Movie Diner. This is an extraordinarily special episode. I mean, I say that almost every episode is special, but this one is more special than any specialnesses we have specialed in the past. This is a full circle journey for us.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Yes, you thought I was going to say something else then. We started down this road. Well, let me first introduce my guest.
Dusty road.
He is the master of the macabre.
When did they start calling me that?
The beard that knows no bounds.
Wow.
The tinkler of the ivories.
2 more, please.
And the doctor of music. As well as 1/3 of the infamous, famous New York Dohlerites.
Good Lord.
It is, good Lord,
Still
indeed.
Going.
It is back on the diner for a first time in a while.
Couple of years.
It is Dr. Nicholas Consol, sir.
That's what they call me.
An absolute pleasure to have you back on the show.
I got to go with Mayor Burt Wicker as we started with these podcasts.
Oh, indeed, yes. When we first started reviewing, when we first started having you on the show in general, but then when we first started reviewing the filmmakers that we're going to be speaking about this episode, filmmakers' work that we're going to be speaking about this episode, we would take different characters from the films. And you were always, don't call me Bernie,
Mayor Burt Wicker.
Mayor Burt Wicker. So I'm just going to be Zachary then. I'll go with a classic.
Sure.
I'll go with a classic.
That fits for this one, definitely.
And so we thought we had done. In fact, the last episode we recorded about the wonderful and exemplary Baltimore local indie filmmaking genius. The sadly but very dearly departed Don Dohler.
The greatest.
Last time we recorded an episode on his films, we called it Down to Our Last Dohler, but
at the time it was the last.
At the time it was. Mm-hmm. Since then, this is a twist. I mean, this is all tied. This is like the end. You think the movie's ended?
Yeah, a classic Dohler twist.
Classic Dohler
Blood
twist.
Massacre.
And this is the Blood Massacre. This film has a twist.
It sure does.
Which just spontaneous applause when I saw the twist of this film. We thought it was the last film. We thought that Vampire Sisters and Dead Hunt were the last two.
Well, we knew this was always in the pipeline somewhere.
Yes. Well, we'd heard rumblings.
Mm-hmm. But that was just
because we'd eaten a big thing of ribs. We thought that Dead Hunt and Vampire Sisters were going to be the last two that we polished off, and then thanks to Mitch,
absolutely,
and Mitch Klein and Robert Long. Shout out to our Baltimore CGI peeps.
You know it.
Not that they're CGI; they're CGI artists.
As far as we know, they're very good. So they might actually be CGI.
They might actually. Well, I've met Robert on several occasions.
How do you know for sure, though?
Have I met Mitch? I may have met Mitch once.
You've met all the legends.
I've met all of them. I may have met. Did I meet Mitch at Steve's party? I forget. I don't know if he was there or not. But Robert, I know for a fact, is real. I've touched Robert, not in the not in the biblical sense, but I've laid a hand.
You should try in the biblical sense
on Robert. No, no, that's fine. I don't think either Robert or I would enjoy it.
Old Testament, though, not the New Testament.
Yeah. Right. Well, no, because Old Testament, that would be what?
Smiting him
or infecting him with a plague or something.
Goat's blood.
So over the last 15 years, thanks to the hard and diligent work of Mitch Klein and Robert Long, our Baltimore CGI peeps, who may or may not be real, they have put together the final Joe Ripple, or I'm going to say it could be the final, but knowing Don, there could be yet another twist.
You never know.
Never know. But I'm going to say for now, as we sit here today, as I sit here before you today.
Not even 10 minutes in, already Winston Churchill.
I don't know who that was meant to be. I don't know that was Winston.
It sounded like I know Winston.
If it was Winston, it would have been more like this.
As I sit here before today, it's the last one. The last Joe Ripple and Don Dohler, because Joe cannot go unmentioned, because unlike many other Dohler fans, we are too a fan of the Ripple.
Of course.
I feel like Ripple comes under a shot. Now, we are first and foremost fans of Don, and his last name, Dohler, allows us to make some puns. Ripple, on the other hand, is a word. Ripple is a verb.
Sure.
So
you can still work with it, though.
You could work with it, but you could say something was a rippling good time, I suppose. Or something
no, that's not something you'd say.
No, don't ever say that again, John.
Not around these parts. Not in Connecticut.
But no, we are a fan of Joe Ripple. But this is the last or the latest of the Joe Ripple Don Dohler collaborations the Timewarp film collaboration that we watched. Crawler. Which for the last 15 years has crawled its way onto DVD.
Man, this is you're on fire. I've been away too long. I forgot how snappy
how snappy I am. I don't know. You've been away too long, and after abandoning me for several years, this is the husk that you find.
You were a husk when I met you. Now it's like someone's made a corn cob doll out of you.
Yeah, exactly. Either that, or someone has put me by the side of their chair and is just flinging, used cigarette butts and candy wrappers and things into me.
They turned you into a corn cob garbage receptacle.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what your podcast is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, indeed. It's me knocking over my receptacle and allowing others to rummage.
This needs to end.
This metaphor. So anyway, Crawler. So we found out from Robert, my dear friend and inside source at the Dohler Ripple Timewarp camp, that Crawler was a film that existed, that him and Mitch were working on, that in the meantime, we've had something we should cover. We've had Blu-ray releases of Don Dohler's films. Now, who thought when we started this journey many years ago that we would have almost all his first chunk of films on Blu-ray.
Blood Massacre and, I guess, Galaxy Invader.
So Galaxy Invader, there is sort of a cast and crew version, but there's not an official.
Right.
There was going to be. Mm-hmm. There was going to be an official version, and we were...
There may be some.
There may still be. I have heard, by the way, that while Blood Massacre is available as an extra, it's a Easter egg on the Fiend Blu-ray.
Huh.
Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Did I just reveal something to you here tonight? You have the Fiend Blu-ray.
Of course I do, yeah.
So on the Fiend Blu-ray, if you do that thing where you like click around the arrows on the menu.
I love to do that for hours.
Exactly, for hours. Well, Blood Massacre is on it.
Wow, I did not know
as
that.
a bonus feature, as an Easter egg. So Blood Massacre exists on Blu-ray as an Easter egg on the Fiend disc. However, I have heard rumblings that we are getting a Blood Massacre Blu-ray or ripplings.
You're always hearing rumblings.
I'm hearing rumblings, ripplings, blotches. I don't know. I'm hearing things. Yeah, I don't understand either. It's very late, and it's not that late, but I'm going to pretend it's late. I didn't sleep much last night.
Stop making excuses.
We are getting a Blood Massacre Blu-ray. Now, again, Blood Massacre, there's no original 16mm left.
That's the Holy Grail.
Which is the Holy Grail. It doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. It's burnt away. But, what is exciting about the new Blood Massacre Blu-ray is that we'll get the cleaned up Blu-ray version of the DVD version of the VHS version, which is sort of the version that's out there right now.
Right.
Which is the one that was shot on film. But we will also get, from George Stover's private collection, we will get the original video film, because they shot Blood Massacre twice. They shot Blood Massacre on video, and then the producers liked it so much they said, go ahead and make it on film.
Yeah.
So we will get that as well.
Wow.
Which, as I say, George very kindly gifted me a copy years ago of that, but we will have a cleaned up version of that. So that's coming.
Yeah.
2 versions of Blood Massacre. We've got an official Alien Factor. We've got an official Fiend. Lovely Fiend. I mean, the
Very
Fiend
nice.
disc is fantastic.
Slip cover, the whole thing.
Slip cover. It came with a
little thingy.
Don Leaford patch. Yeah. I mean, we sit here today, sir, as people, as old hands at this, who have been talking Dohler since Blood, Boobs, and Beast was on Hulu. Those many years ago.
11 years ago.
10 or 11 years ago, at least. We've been talking. Well, the diner is 10 years old this year, so
that's when we saw it for the first time.
Yeah, and so we did it. I think probably about the 25th episode or something. It's very early in the run of the diner that we did.
I've never listened to any of them, so I don't know.
No, I wouldn't bother. They're terrible. But the diner's been going 10 years, and we've been loving Dohler for about 10 years. So.
That's right.
And that certainly means I've known you far too long. That's the one thing.
The feeling's mutual.
Feeling's definitely mutual. But no, so in that time, not only do we have Don on Blu-ray, go buy it right now on Amazon. Go buy all the Don stuff you can find on Amazon.
Absolutely.
Or not on Amazon. Go find the independent. Let's stick to Don's independent roots. Let's go to, I think Massacre Video put out Fiend, I think. And I think, is it Retro Media, the Fred Olin Ray's company, put out Alien Factor? We also have a Night Beast that was put out by Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. Also a nice looking one.
Very nice disc from Vinegar Syndrome for Night Beast. Troma has also released their own Blu-ray version of Night Beast.
Oh, because they had the original.
But they had the original
DVD.
thing. But as far as I'm aware, Blood, Boobs, and Beast is not an extra on that disc, so I have not picked it up.
Well, yeah. I definitely have my old copy of Blood, Boobs, and Beast.
Yes, I have that on DVD. I have all of the Dohlers on DVDs. But we want them all on Blu-ray, is what we're here to say. In fact, we will go ahead and re-review all of the films.
I'm not available for that.
No, but I'll do it alone.
Go in the closet and do it.
I will go. Why do I have to be in the closet?
That's where you belong.
That's where I belong. Cowering in a closet surrounded by packing boxes and DVDs. Whispering. And another thing I like about Alien Factor. So yeah, we've had, since we last spoke, a bunch of Don's films out on Blu-ray. Go check them out. I will put all the links and official gubbins in the podcast notes. We've had a Don Leaford as Zombie Fiend patch, which you can stitch onto your denim item of clothing of choice.
Underwear,
if you so
whatever
wish.
you want.
Underwear. Well, I mean, if you wear denim underwear, then it's or not just denim, but any robust fabric. Like if you have some velour.
What are all the robust fabrics?
Corduroy. That's a good.
Scientifically,
that's a good robust fabric. Is velour considered robust?
I don't know what velour is considered. Burlap is probably.
Burlap is a fantastic. If you have burlap, maybe hiking pants, burlap hiking pants, are they a thing?
Yeah.
If you're German and you want to attach them to your lederhosen, I think a Don Leifert Zombie Fiend patch on a pair of lederhosen would just go down a splash at Oktoberfest.
It would go down a splash at Oktoberfest.
Anyway, all I'm saying to people is Don is out there, bigger, badder, and better than ever. Go check it out. It's fantastic. And, I just adore that we live in this world now.
Yeah.
Someone needs to pick up Galaxy Invader to get an official release out there. Robert has done a wonderful cleanup of it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a great cleaned up version of it. I believe it just played on Count Gordeval, Count Gordeval show. Dick Dysel played it the other night, but I believe his shows only stay up a week or two, and then they come down again.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not on there anymore, but it's nice to see.
But nice to see that he played Galaxy Invader. We just finished watching Crawler, then we ate our body weight in meats, and now we're back in here talking Crawler. And I have to say, Nick, right off the bat, when Crawler ended, I can't really vocalize the elation and just nostalgic warmth that flooded my body.
Yeah, spontaneous applause.
Yeah.
In a small room with just the two of us. And
it was not manufactured applause. It was legitimate, genuine.
No special effects.
No special effects.
Human clapping.
Well, because we had predicted the twist at the end of Crawler, but I was also tempering my expectations because I thought that maybe the Don Leifert scene was just a little...
The one-off.
It was just a little nod. It was just like,
cameo.
We've got it. Because, so... Crawler is in the vein of Don's earlier films and Alien Factor 2, which was the first Timewarp film, an alien invasion picture. Mm-hmm. But, one thing I have to make clear, because I read a review earlier where, this guy was like, oh, here he goes rehashing the plot again. No, he doesn't. Nope. Every single one of his alien pictures is different.
Totally different.
Totally different. Now, they may all take place in kind of
Don's backyard.
Small rural Baltimore. They may be filmed in Don's backyard. But all the creatures are different. Mm-hmm. They all have different agendas. I was going to say modus operandi, but...
No, I say agendas.
Yes, don't go all, fancy on us, John. Agenda is a much more down-to-earth, blue-collar... Baltimore type word, which is fantastic.
That's definitely how they talk down.
I'm just saying Don would have used the word agenda. He wouldn't have used modus operandi, and he would have punched me for using that. So
I don't think he would have punched you.
No, he wouldn't have done. But Stover would have done. He would have had Stover punch me.
And it would have ended you.
It would have ended
Stover punch.
In classic Stover fashion.
From Galaxy Invader.
Or Steaks.
So
I got a classic right hook in Steaks. But in this one, we get a sort of three different kind of stories going on at once. You've got the story of the Crawler, which in fantastic kind of almost like slasher fashion, every 8 to 10 minutes, you have like a Crawler kill. The Crawler is an alien who comes down in what appears to be a craft disguised within a meteor shower.
Yes.
It's sort of humanoid and snake-like, reptilian and humanoid. So it's kind of half snake, half human, sort of, and therefore can slither, but can also climb, can also kind of be upright and horizontal. Sort of lots of very different options from the Crawler.
And lots of different killing mechanisms as well.
Right. Well, the first
three were all just face palms.
And we thought, is that the move?
Right. Which works. That's effective.
It's classic.
And because he was growing also.
Yeah.
So he started off, he was an adolescent or a baby crawler, just slashing people's faces.
Yes.
Then he gets bigger and he learns about his other powers.
Dragging people under things or through things. And
that's like the teenage years.
Then in the end, he stabs someone through with he's got like an arm stabby thing.
He's got an arm stabby thing, and then it was coming out of his mouth also.
He has much in the way of sort of predator or alien. He has, but different. He has mandibles, I believe they're called, that kind of come out of the reptilian's mouth.
I don't know. Mandibles are like jaws, I think.
Oh, okay.
This is like a thing
Yeah.
Like an alien.
Like a grabber kind of thing.
A grabber.
Yeah.
A
He also, he has toxic spit as well in one particularly exciting sequence.
Like in Jurassic Park, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, a multifaceted
Killing
alien
machine.
beast. Unique for a Dohler film, also an entirely CGI rendered beastie.
Yeah, no rubber suits.
No. And that explains the weight. So this is a film that's made between Vampire Sisters and Dead Hunt. That is the chronology.
We assume that's...
No, that is the chronology. I looked it up. And then was shelved because they had decided on a CGI beastie and the work had to be completed. They then went on and shot Dead Hunt.
Right.
And Blood, Boobs and Beasts was being made, and then we found out about Don's cancer, and then sadly he would pass before he saw Crawler completed.
Right.
However, he did edit it. He did edit the complete Crawler before...
It was just the post-CGI that needed to be...
The CGI needed to be done. And I'm sure there was some, based on the CGI, I'm sure there was some that Rob and Mitch tweaked to facilitate the CGI. But yes, it was edited by Don, shot by Don, produced by Don, and co-written by Don. And Joe Ripple, as always, directed it. In what we've learned is that Joe Ripple gets involved in, I think, makeup effects in this one. He co-wrote it, and he directs the actors. That was the bit that Don was always less comfortable with. He loved shooting the thing. He liked just telling the story and making sure that all the pieces fit, but the direction of the acting, that was Joe Ripple's forte. Right. So that's kind of how they divided. A bit like the Coen brothers, I think.
Yes, much like the Coen brothers.
Only more successful, one could argue.
Yeah, definitely more artistic.
Yes. So Crawler, he's going, and then the other two teams are, we have the Army / Special Alien Force, Secret Op Alien Force. And then we have the 3 UFO nerds.
Yeah, the astrophysicists.
The astrophysicists, played by returning champions Justin Timpain.
Oh yeah.
Who is also in Dead Hunt and provides the soundtrack of this movie.
Excellent
soundtrack, and we'll get on to that definitely. Darla Albanos, who was in
Vampire Sisters.
Vampire Sisters. Was she in any others?
I think she was in Stakes too.
She is. She's been in lots of vampire-related things.
Yeah, she has the
Stakes, Seven Sins of the Vampires,
look.
Vampire Sisters, Vampire Love Story.
So she'd made 5 vampire movies.
Yes, Crawler and Fear of Clowns.
Wow. So Crawler is really the one. I mean, I haven't seen Fear of Clowns. I don't know.
I've seen Fear of Clowns. It's that is my buddy Kevin Kangas, who made Fear of Clowns, and that has Frank Lama in it, who was in Swarm of the Snakehead, which was another fantastic movie.
Yeah, I have to see all these.
Yes,
I got a lot of work to do.
You got a lot of work to do. But yeah, Darla Albanos, she's in this.
So this was really against type for her.
Right, indeed. And then rounding out the trilogy, playing the character of Ronnie Dipper Kanowski.
The Dipper.
It's Daniel Ross.
The big Dipper.
Daniel Ross, who's also worked with Justin Timpain, who's a film director in his own right. And I believe he's been part of the Ninja Versus series. I believe. He's also in Vampire Sisters as well. Is he not? Yes, he is. He's in Ninja versus Zombies. Yeah. So he is, and Ninjas versus Vampires, which is what I've seen him in. So yeah, he's I think he's an old pal of Justin Timpain's and has been in his stuff. And he's fantastic. So we have our trilogy of UFO
hunters,
guys. We have the Army. We have Crawler, but then we have another trilogy. We have returning champions.
That's right. In their small but very powerful roles.
We have...
It was a quartet, really, because you also had...
you had Leanna in there.
Very briefly.
Leanna, but Leanna, again, is sort of the Timewarp family. And
True.
And very welcome part and member of the Timewarp family. We love Leanna. And so you could definitely call her a returning champion. But she's in all of the films in some regard once the Timewarp series starts. So... In fact, if anything, it was unusual that her role was smaller in this because she has a big role in all the other Time Warp films. But she's fantastic in the. But she was also documentarian on the behind the scenes, so she carried
around the production.
Two kind of things there. And then, but no, the trilogy I speak of.
Oh, yes.
The dare I say it, the holy Baltimore
the three
trilogy,
wise men.
The Three Wise Men. You put it better than I did.
I often do.
As mayor, he didn't have a name of Wicker, but I'm going to say it was Burt Wicker.
No, I mean maybe we missed the name, but he was very Wicker-esque.
Wicker-esque. As returning champion of Mayor Burt Wicker, it was Dick Dysel.
What a role!
Yeah, also known as Disco Dick for anyone who's seen the miscellaneous plumbing fixtures holding pattern music video.
Still one of the most incredible performances I've ever seen.
Well, so just a little bit on that. Anyone who listens to the podcast knows that I have a musical venture that's called Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures, and in the last couple of years, while we've been on lockdown and various other things, I've done a whole ton of albums. And one of the music videos I did, I sent out a message to basically anyone and everyone who would listen, like, hey, shoot yourself for 30 seconds on your phone and send me the footage, and I'll edit it into a music video, because I just thought that'll be fun, just get everyone doing something at home. And I thought, well, why not reach out to the Dohler crew?
Yeah.
And so I reached out to Leanna,
content creators.
Yeah, Rob, George, and Dick. And Dick and I have chatted a little bit on Facebook, but I've never met Mr. Dysel, Count Gordeval, but we've chatted a bit on Facebook. But and I didn't know whether he would be like, what's going on? Why you asked me to do something, or whether he'd be game for it. But I just said, like, if you want to do it, that'd be great. If you don't, thank you very much for your kind consideration. All the rest of it.
He was game.
And he said, yeah, I'm gonna throw on my yellow jumpsuit and do some disco dancing. I thought he was joking. Like, I thought that was Dick Dysel being like, sure, kid, I'm going to throw on my yellow jumpsuit and do some disco dancing. Whatever, thanks, no thanks.
Deadly serious.
He was deadly serious. I got 15 minutes, I think, worth, or 10 minutes footage of him down in his Count Gordeval dungeon, dancing in a yellow jumpsuit.
Amazing.
Some amazing disco moves.
Those moves.
Just incredible. George, of course, provided me not only some outtakes from a film he was working on, in which a lawnmower goes crazy and runs him over, but also footage of him as the Night Beast playing a pinball machine.
I mean, how could you ever have expected that?
I couldn't. But listen, when you get embroiled in the Baltimore peeps, they are just the most giving, creative, and wonderful bunch. Not to mention Leanna, who gave me hours of footage of her in front of the green screen with different hats on and wigs and playing a ukulele. I mean, I could have made, if Holding Pattern was like a 40-minute song, and some wish it was.
Some wish it were a little shorter, but that
some wish it was a 2-minute hit, But I could have made a full film.
And you should.
I like that. But they were fantastic, and I love them all, and it was just wonderful. And so seeing Dick Dysel back as Mayor Wicker in this, what a joy. Yeah. And talk to us about the escalation of perviness that Wicker, let's talk about the perv story of Mayor Burt Wicker throughout the three films.
They're similar in the early stuff where he's got it's him and Mary Jo. Well, no, in Alien Factor it's not Mary Jo, because she has a different role. Or am I thinking about Night Beast? Mary Jo is his assistant in one of them.
Well, I mean, he's with
no, because in Alien Factor, Mary Jo is the victim in the car.
The victim in the car at the beginning, right? But okay, so the story basically is the only thing pervy about him in Alien Factor is his powder blue suit.
Yeah, he exudes a certain perviness.
But then Night Beast is when
he really gets into it with Mary Jo.
He's essentially, Marilyn's answer to Hugh Hefner. You know what I mean? He's got a swimming pool full of people.
Yeah.
Later on, him and Mary Jo get drunk. He's got
debaucherous
plant life and stuff around him, and then in this. My goodness.
Yeah, he takes it to the final the final stage.
Yeah. I mean, he has a woman throwing herself at him, quite literally.
A third of his age, maybe.
Yeah. And a beautiful woman and a wonderful performance.
And we get those shots just straight on.
Straight on.
Dick Dysel. Yes.
Looking right down the barrel of the camera as if he looks into your soul and you inherit some of his sleaze at that moment, I feel like.
We can only hope.
We can only hope that is something that we are blessed with in our life. The sexual ardor of Dick Dysel.
Oh my God.
So then, the second wise man, wise man 2, George Stover.
And what else needs to be said?
I mean,
and this was I had not seen him affect a
he is just
southern accent like that with the.
Okay, so we have first of all the accent, phenomenal work,
Yeah,
just fantastic. Secondly, the aviator shades at night,
yeah, and the toothpick, and the crusty,
yeah,
like southern dusty,
and he's a mean
sheriff.
Normally, George plays the hero or sort of the mild-mannered deputy.
Right. Sort of bumbling sometimes.
Whereas, obviously Blood Massacre, that's the one big departure where he plays a full-on villain. And in this one, shades of Rizzo a little bit, just a little bit. Like if
Rizzo had taken a different path.
If Rizzo
hadn't gone to Vietnam.
Angry Southern sheriff path. Right. The best thing is when so Wicker calls Stover up, because apparently there's been some billboard defacement.
Yeah, UFO. We never got to the bottom of the UFO.
Billboard defacement. I think it was that.
I don't know. They don't seem like the type. I feel like it's the townspeople trying to get them in trouble. Because we saw how the coffee shop lady.
Oh, she hated them.
Reacted to them.
She hated them.
The whole town hates them.
Don't go to small town Maryland, because apparently if you believe in UFOs, you're shit out of luck. Everyone will hate you.
The whole town.
Everyone. They won't even. They will bring coffee to your table, but they won't hand it to you.
No.
They'll shove it to you on a tray. Disgusted.
Which is one of the greatest insults that can,
of course,
happen to someone.
I've got to believe there's spittle in that coffee.
Well, listen. Today, when we went to Starbucks, there was no milk out. Maybe there was something going on there.
Yeah, maybe it was milky spittle.
Milky spittle.
Anyway, everyone hates the UFO guys. And Wicker, Burt Mayer, calls Stover up right before. What I love about this as well is that the mayor is about to get down and dirty with a woman of the female persuasion.
Only once the town business is done. Though.
Right. But she's probably gone, I'm going to go get into something.
Slip into something
more comfortable. And he's gone, perfect opportunity to call the town sheriff, George Stover, and have him deal with the reckless defacement of a billboard.
That's right.
Where they says, I believe in UFOs, in spray paint. And so Stover he's not happy about this when he gets the call from the mayor, because he's down to his undershirt watching TV.
He's trying to relax at home.
Yeah.
And now he has to go take care of town business.
It's very late, and he's got to drive across town and give it to these 3 yahoos who believe in UFOs.
He's at home being grizzled. He doesn't want to be bothered.
He does not want to be bothered. But George does it. He's a man of the town and man of the people.
They all have to take care of business.
So he puts his uniform back on, goes over there, gives them what for, through the screen door. Doesn't even open the screen door.
No,
can't even be bothered. Pops his little matchstick back in his mouth, and off he goes. And there was even a sequence filmed in George's home. The sequence with the cousin,
which is where George also meets his demise.
He does, but I feel like had he been a heroic sheriff, he would have lived. But being the evil Southern grizzly sheriff,
he wasn't evil. He was just grizzled.
Right. Well, he was. He didn't bother investigating anything. He just went round and accused those 3 poor astrophysicists playing on their 1996 computers.
Those were some nice.
Those are some nice
equipment there.
Yeah, computers. But fantastic performance by George.
The best.
He gets his Alien 3 moment with the crawler up close and personal.
That's right. It was very dramatic.
He gets a wonderful, gruesome, gory death.
Which is what you want. You want to show the respect to the
Although
victims.
initially, no. When he first gets killed, it's just 3 tiny
That's
blood
right.
drops on the carpet.
Very contained.
Very contained.
Especially given what happened to his head.
Yes.
The crawler. But it was just... Because that's George's carpet. He doesn't want to...
He doesn't want to ruin it. But when we come back, we see that he's lost all but an eye.
Right.
Everything else on his face is gone.
Gruesome skull.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Excellent.
It's fantastic.
Incredible effects work.
And the third wise man, some may say, considering what he does in the film, the wisest of men.
He's the hero. He's the... I don't know how much you want to spoil the
Don
thing.
Dohler.
Oh, man. Rocking the mustache.
When
it's
we
1978.
When we saw him and his first scene in the film, I can't tell you, man. I was so happy.
Well, he starts off understated. He's just, the cable's out, and then the phone doesn't work, and he's just getting a little exasperated. And then he pieces it all together.
He knows what's up just by the lack of phone and television.
And you see him look off camera at a rack of 12 shotguns.
All of the guns.
Ready just for this occasion.
All of the guns. That was... I can't wrap... It's just genius. It's just absolute genius. I was so happy. And that's the reason why I wanted to run it down like this is because, as much as this movie was actually made between Vampire Sisters and Dead Hunt, had we watched it in that order... after Vampire Sisters, we would have just gone, oh, okay, Don's back on familiar territory. It's Alien. He's brought back, Stoves, Dizelle, and Leaford. We know where we are with this. Off we go, da-da-da-da-da. Watching it in this order, it really... And I know people are going to think that I'm being sarcastic or exaggerating or trying to be funny or something. It genuinely put a lump in my throat. It genuinely made me so happy to watch this film.
Yeah.
Because I also think that when you hear sort of there's, a lost, quote unquote, lost film in the Chitty and, it's taken a bunch of time to work on it and so on and so forth, and it brings back the old cast from his first films as well as some of the cast from the new Timewarp films. You hope it's good. You fingers crossed, you hope it's good. But you also kind of temper your expectations because you kind of think, well, maybe it isn't.
There's a reason that it was
right.
left in the can for a while.
And so to watch it in this way, it is absolutely perfect.
It
because
turns into the perfect coda, the perfect final
it is.
act.
Because if your last film is Dead Hunt, then that's fine because Dead Hunt is an incredibly polished, well-acted, well-made slasher film. But, and I don't mean this in any disrespect, but it doesn't... there are plenty of those shot on video... well polished, well made, well acted indie slasher films like that. That's a thing, and Don did a great one. Joe did a great one. It's fantastic. But to have this as the bookend to Alien Factor is, it
ties it back to the early movies, and then is a perfect addition to the Timewarp movies.
It's just such a gift, such a gift,
especially the way it ends. Having an original hero.
wise man come back and just
and even throwing in his character name to be the same as it was in Alien Factor.
In Alien Factor, Mr. Zachary. It was a masterstroke. It really was. So we're going to pause the episode here for some adverts. The After Movie Diner does not endorse any of these products or any of these companies or any of these films or any of the adverts you're about to hear. This is just an obligation we have. So that we can keep the podcast on the platform that we currently have it on. So I'm afraid I have to run some ads now. Please bear with it. If you are listening on a platform like iTunes, for example, you can actually fast forward the ads. So do that if you want. Otherwise, if you can't fast forward the ads because you're listening on some other platform, then I apologize. Please know that we only do this so that we can keep the cost of continuing to produce these episodes as low as possible while bringing you free entertainment, essentially. If I wanted to take it to the Patreon-only model, where I just moved it over to Patreon and it would only be available if you paid for it, I would have about 3 listeners. So because I don't know how many people are going to pay for it. If more of you jump on Patreon, then I will remove these ads and I will move the whole podcast over to Patreon and we'll just do Patreon only versions. But I don't see that happening. But if you want to do that, you can go over to patreon.com/AfterMovieDiner. Support the podcast on Patreon. And who knows, you might never need to hear the following raft of bullshit adverts ever again. Sorry about this, folks. Just fast forward them if you can. Thanks.
And so onto the film in general then. As I say, you've got the military guys hiding out in the woods trying to capture the crawler. You've got the UFO guys both trying to evade the army guys, but also sort of working with them at a certain point. And then you've got the crawler kind of going around and killing people. And what is another great thing about this, the other thing that elevates this film, is that the cinematography, which was Don's,
excellent.
It's excellent. He's got some really genuinely great dolly work in here, like moving the camera nice and smooth, even through the woods. Like I don't know how he did a dolly in the woods without any bumps. And
you put Don in the woods.
Put Don in the woods.
Magic.
He knows
that's where he belongs.
But even in the cafe scene, and there was some great, just some great. I think there was even like I don't know if it was an actual like mini crane or anything, but there was definitely like a shot where kind of the camera raised up a bit above, like towards the end, when the Darla Albanose and Justin Timpane were in the woods with the army guy, and their friend gets killed. I think there was like a raised up shot and stuff. The cinematography is some of Don's best. I mean, it's so strong, and the editing. I mean, it's not only did he shoot the hell out of it. I mean, in the car chase, there's like 18 different shots within the car.
Yeah. Reminiscent of Alien Factor 2.
Alien Factor 2, same roads actually.
That's right.
That they were driving down, which is awesome. But edited so well. I mean, exceptionally well edited, exceptionally well shot. I mean, this is, I got to go back and watch Dead Hunt again. It's been a moment since I watched it, but I feel like this was Don at the top of his game.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's the other reason why I feel that this film works as such a good bookend to his career, because he comes out the gate strong with Alien Factor, and if Crawler is the last full, finished Dohler Ripple Timewarp film we get, he ends it on an absolute high note.
I think if it all come out in order, and if Don had kept going, you could have had Crawler as like the bookend, and then Dead Hunt might have been like the springboard into the next phase.
Timewarp 0.2, or 2.0.
Well, it's a shame we didn't get to experience that. But
it is. But I mean, look, again, to clarify to people who may be listening to this episode for the first time and sort of be like, what is Don Dohler and stuff. First of all, strongly encourage clicking on the links in the podcast description and either listening to our previous episodes or going over to Smash or Trash Indie Film and reading about Don there. Joining the Don Dohler Facebook group. There's lots of places to find out about Don on the internet.
And Blood, Boobs, and Beast is how...
Blood, Boobs, and Beast
John
is a fantastic documentary.
The greatest.
Troma's sort of buried it recently. It's difficult to find, but I think it's out there for rental, maybe on their Troma Now or whatever their streaming thing is. And I think you can buy it on YouTube for $3.99 or something. But yeah, no, check out Blood, Boobs, and Beast because it's such a great story. But what I will say, and what kept coming to mind about this film is, there is this sense that in order to see the genuinely fantastic work that everyone is doing in a film like this, there is, of course, you have to look past the fact that it's shot on video. Like if you haven't trained your eyes to accept that some movies are shot on 35mm and some movies are shot on video. Like, that's just a thing. And some people, when this was made at the end of the 90s, early 2000s, we didn't have 4K UHD cameras in our pockets on our phones. What we had was like camcorders sold at Circuit City or whatever. So, Don, due to budgetary constraints in the 2000s, and also because people wanted stuff shot quick and then released on video quick because there was a big kind of straight-to-video market.
Don was doing all the later Time Warp stuff on video, and you just have to accept that. If you can't get past that, it is difficult. But once you get past that, you see a film that if Don had the 35 mil, if Don had, the crew, and if Don had the time and money, he is every bit as good a filmmaker as anyone out there. His storytelling is so strong. His editing is so strong. His shooting style is so good. And yes, you have to look past the budgetary constraints. And if you're going to be one of those people who shits on that online because you think it's funny that stuff's shot on video, or you think the CGI doesn't match up to, what Hollywood does or whatever, then I have no time for you. You've got to look. You've got to think these are your friends and relatives and neighbors, and these are guys living in residential Maryland shooting stuff in their backyard and in the local woods, and no one's done it better than Don.
Nope.
No one's done it better than Don. I mean, I was so impressed with this film. Yep. I really was. I was really legitimately impressed with this film.
And the acting in this was on the same level as Dead Hunt, where it was like real professional. The not FBI, but I guess the military.
Yeah,
that couple was tremendous.
They were really good, and I'd not seen either of them before. I don't think. Let me look up their names. Nicky Odell and James Keegan. I don't think I've seen them in anything else, but they were superb.
Excellent, yeah.
And Maynard Edwards as the Hunt team leader was very good. Mm-hmm. He had one of the best cinematic deliveries of the word "fuck" that I've seen in a long time.
Fuck.
He was like, "Oh fuck!" It was so good. It was so well done.
And the team had a little comic relief.
Yep.
A few times. It was nice to see.
Yeah, the team were just fun. I mean, everyone in the movie was so strong and so good.
Were the other team members, were they in Dead Hunt also?
We have John Patrick Barry.
Maybe not.
Wow, John Patrick Barry's gone on to do some
Criminal Minds
things. He's in Captain Phillips.
Wow.
Criminal Minds and stuff.
There he is, Dead Hunt. Yeah.
He was in Dead Hunt. Right, yes, he's the witch hunter guy. Okay, yeah, I know.
It was tough to tell because he had war paint on the whole time.
And he's also in Fear of Clowns, Kevin Kangus's movie, which I would strongly... Kevin Kangus, Justin Timpane, great Baltimore filmmakers. Definitely find their stuff online and watch it. The Ninja versus Vampires, Ninja versus Zombies series is a lot of fun. Really well done and really well made.
So he springboarded out of the Baltimore scene, and now he's everywhere.
Now he's doing some stuff. Good for him. And what I wanted to find was who played the snooty coffee shop lady. She was amazing. Is that Jenny? Was that Elkie Cooper? No, Jenny was the cousin who got killed in the after her shower. Still excellent. I don't know who the coffee girl was. Uncredited coffee girl.
Wait, who's Nikki Carl? The housewife. Who's the housewife?
At the beginning, the woman whose dog got killed right off the bat. Yeah, there's even a pre-credit sequence with a killing, which was fantastically done.
Yep, the opening gambit.
Yeah, the movie has like a wonderful kind of slasher kind of structure, and then you have all the aspects of Don's alien pictures that you love.
Yep. The woods, the backyard.
You've got
the basement.
Yeah, and I mean, just a joy. And I've got to assume that was his basement that the astrophysicists were set up in.
You'd have to assume, yeah.
Yeah, that was his basement.
And his real computers.
400-pound. Yeah.
Desktops.
Those are. Well, I like any movie where scientists have a fax machine. That's really what. And again, we joke with love. This is a joke with love. Because again, this stuff was made in the early 2000s, and I know we like to think that like the millennium happened and everything suddenly became modern, but it's 21 years ago now. It's
17 years ago. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Well, 21 years ago, the millennium happened, and Don was still using some older tech. Let's just say.
I feel like Maryland was just kind of a couple of years behind the cutting edge,
right?
Which is so are we. So that's fine.
That's fine. I don't want to be the cutting edge.
No,
sounds
it's lonely
painful
out there.
Well, you'll be cutting all the time. What about Don's cameo in the coffee shop?
Oh, I mean, to see him, to see him out there.
I miss him.
In the wild.
Lovely tribute to him.
Right after the
final
Before
scene.
the credits.
The end credits. But boy, could he tell a story. And he could tell a story right from Alien Factor onwards. Like, I remember when we finally got around to watching Alien Factor, and because we watched it slightly out of order to begin with, and thinking that the idea that, you know, an alien would be like this zoological alien or like this bounty hunter alien that's going around and like collecting all the, essentially like the bad monsters and creatures of the thing, but then he crash lands on Earth.
Right.
So like you have this thing of, well, not all aliens are bad, but these particular animals got loose. I just thought that was such a neat idea. It was such a cool idea.
Well, in this one, they really fleshed out how the alien worked zoologically.
Yes.
It all made sense.
It was all fantastic. So and I just think he just tells a really good story. And when you think of all the characters he juggled in this movie, it ripped through. I mean, it's such a pacey movie as well. Nice and quick.
Yeah.
Never slows down for a minute. Entertaining as all get out.
Very, very much so.
So I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Up and down, through and through. It was everything in it worked for me, and it was such a great. It was not only a great experience to be watching it with you, because I feel like that brings it full circle. Doing this show, it's the 10th anniversary of the diner, so we kind of get to bring that into it. We have George, Don, and Dick coming back.
Yeah,
and it just, I don't know. It was
couldn't have been
perfect.
more successful.
It was just fantastic. It was just wonderful.
And I'm glad we waited to do it like this, not watch it independently and then...
Yeah, and then try and do it over Zoom. I'm glad that you're here in person.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but...
It adds to it, I think.
Sure. The camaraderie.
We both have our COVID beards, which we both have long beards at the moment.
Not socially acceptable.
No.
But in this room, it's fine.
In this room, not only is it fine, it's demanded.
It's encouraged.
I won't let anybody in here who doesn't have a mammoth
It's rewarded,
beard. It's rewarded. It's rewarded with ribs.
That's right.
And other meats and
you picked me up from the train station.
I can drive now.
That's right.
Yes.
You've got. Think of where we were, where you were when we started this.
Yes.
The Dohler journey.
I was on the Upper East Side, in an unsuccessful relationship. Let's just put it that way, and because I want to bring that up because it's painful. No, it's not really anymore. And I was recording on a Mac, but it's probably about 3 or 4 Macs ago.
I was really just referring to your driving skills, but sure, go through the whole thing.
I think I was still using this mic. I think this is the mic I've had for 10 years.
That mic's been with you. The smell coming off of it.
Yeah, it's got a bit of beard wax, some cider, some bacon potato chips.
Bacon potato chips.
I have those in the cupboard. They're very good.
Let's smear them all over the mic and lick them off.
But yeah, it's been a journey, and I can't thank Robert and Mitch enough for working on this. I mean, what a labor of love, and just fantastic. And them getting a distribution deal and figuring it out and getting it out on DVD. I mean, all the kudos and applause to them.
Absolutely.
I mean, talk about, people, we claim some fandom here. We claim some history here with the Dohler films, and with now the people in Baltimore being friends of ours. We visited Baltimore. I've been in Don's basement. I met
all the sites.
His brother Glenn. I went out in the backyard where the bathtub was. I like to think it's still there. Whoever owns the house now.
That's got to be part of the lease.
It's got to be part of it. You have to maintain the bathtub in the backyard. Don't ask, just maintain it.
Just fill it with blood.
Every full moon, every October full moon, fill it with blood. I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I was saying we claim some fandom and we claim some relationships with the Baltimore group, but what Rob and Mitch have done here goes on and above and beyond.
Oh yeah, incredible.
And through life's challenges as well. Like I know for a fact that obviously another reason why it took 15 years is no one's sole job or no one's sole life was just editing or doing the creature and CGI effects for Crawler. Things have happened in that time, and people go through lives, and so to get this out, I think is also just a crowning achievement.
Yep, and now we have it.
Now we have it forever, forever, and what I like about it is there may be more Don stuff out there, there may not, there may be more Joe stuff out there, there may not. I like this as being the last, the wraparound. I mean, if any others emerge, I'll watch them and love them, I'm sure. Yeah. But
no, very fitting conclusion. Final chapter.
I was emotional. I'm not going to lie.
You are still emotional.
I'm still emotional,
and it's embarrassing.
I'm enthused.
But I think we should embrace it.
We've also come on a journey where, when I first watched Night Beast and everyone else was sort of
you didn't like
enthusiastic about it, I was like, it was fine. But then I learned, like, Blood, Boobs, and Beast, man, it's such a good gateway drug, because it introduces you to Don. And when you meet Don, the rest of the pieces fall into place.
It adds context to everything else.
It really does. It really does. Because you have to watch a few. You have to get, like, sucked into the mindset. You didn't. You were an early adopter. You were just
no, right but I watched Blood, Boobs, and Beast first.
First, right.
That's the first thing I saw. And then I watched Night Beast. So I already had that context.
Right. But
for most people, if you watched one of them first, you'd probably need to, if you're into that sort of thing, you'd watch another one, and then you get, it's like an acquired taste. But then once you get there,
once they become old friends of the screen, you just want to keep seeing them work.
That's right.
And thankfully, because every filmmaker that has come since in Baltimore has cast Don and Dick in quite a few things, I would strongly urge you track down all the other things that Mr. Stover and Mr. Dizella are in,
of course,
to get similar thrills.
And each of them have their own documentaries.
Also. They do, and we are in at least one of them. We're not in Halloween one, are we?
No.
But we're in No Stopping the Stover.
That's right.
So there we go. One of my IMDb credits is No Stopping the Stover as himself.
I assume it's my only IMDb credit.
Yeah.
if I'm on there at all.
Well, it's nice because I have credits in Farley's movies that I've appeared in.
Of course.
And then I have
a couple. Also is carrying the torch.
Yeah. Of course, yes. We, off the back of Dohler, I met Charlie and Farley, like, without Don's work and without covering Don's work and without there being other people inspired by what Don did. And Matt Farley of Motown Media, uses a lot of what Don's core tenets were of making movies to this day, and has just set him and Charlie the task of making 2 films every year for the next 5 years. They want to end the next 5 years with 10 films. So I'm going to be in every single one of them, I've decided. And Metal Detector Maniac comes out on Blu-ray soon.
I've been seeing that on
with me. It's available to buy on Vimeo right now for, I think... it's not available. Sorry, it's not available on Vimeo.
Pre-order or something.
No, the other one is Heard She Got Married is on Vimeo. The Blu-ray is available for pre-order.
Yeah, I pre-ordered something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just if I see it, I just click it.
Yeah. Freaky Farley is also coming out on Blu-ray from the same Gold Ninja video, which is up in Canada. So Farley and Justin DeClue, I think his name is, who runs Golden Ninja Video, now have a partnership, and sort of all of their movies will eventually come out on.
He's up to a few Blu-rays.
Yeah, he did. River Beast is out.
River Beast.
And Local Legends, which I'm in.
Of course.
So all of my movies will be out on Blu-ray eventually.
I think it's called the John Cross Collection.
The John Cross Collection. But think about that. You sit down, we meet at our job.
A day that will live in infamy.
You... based on Evil Dead 2.
That's right.
You then watch Blood, Boobs, and Beast and say, John, I really think, this is something I want to share with you. Like, I'm enthused by it. I share it with you. Initially, I'm like, I don't get it. And you're like, watch Blood, Boobs, and Beast. I watch it.
suddenly I become the biggest fan.
The world opens up to you.
I interview everybody. I talk to everybody. I meet everybody. I do all of the things.
It's almost like you have an obsessive personality when it comes to this kind of thing.
Yeah. And then through that, Charlie writes to me, says, hey, would you love to review a couple of our films? I'm like, sure.
Yeah, we watched those.
Freaky Farley and Monsters,
Vegas.
Marriage and Murder in Manch Vegas. We review those. River Beast comes out. We do a giveaway of River Beast on the podcast.
Amazing.
And when Farley is casting his next film, Local Legends,
who does he think to...
I'm in it.
Yeah.
And from then on, Slingshot Cops, that's the other Blu-ray that came out.
Right.
I'm in that. And I'll be in Metal Detector Maniac. And then I'm going to be in the one that they're shooting early in the new year.
At some point, he's going to have to film like a movie just with you as the grizzled character at the center of everything.
No, he always has himself as the lead.
And as
because he's always available.
This should be like some sort of offshoot. Maybe not one of the 10.
Well, he would tell me to make that myself. He'd come be in it, but he's like, make that one yourself.
Okay.
So if you want to write a movie in which I'm the grizzled lead, and
I'm
then
very busy.
Yeah. But no, just a fantastic story.
Yep.
I think I came to. I had always, from a young child, wanted to be involved in some way in movies, and it's very telling to me that the After Movie Diner has kind of opened that door. And you and I got to be in a documentary about George Stover, which is the highest of thrills.
The honor of honors.
The honor of honors. We also did a Galaxy Invader commentary.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is available and would have been available on a Blu-ray. But
I mean, I'm honored to be on it. It's hard. It was hard to listen to.
Yes.
But we did our best.
We did very well.
I think you did a great job.
I mean, we did Fan and Terry, or whatever we called it. But that was great. No one asked us to do a commentary for Crawler, so that clearly we didn't do a good enough job the first time.
But now you've been working so hard at commentary while you're driving,
right?
And I think you might have something.
Yeah, the history of roundabouts as narrated by John Cross while driving, a new podcast coming to
John Cross rates different left turns on the roads of Western Connecticut.
On Western Connecticut. Yeah. The Nutmeg State and its left turns, brought to you by John Cross while driving.
You have some like harmonica accompaniment to that.
Of course. Every podcast needs harmonica accompaniment. I'm surprised in 10 years I haven't thought about it.
If you want me to sit in the back seat while you're doing it, and every now and then just interject something, it could be like the Ed McMahon of your...
That would be fantastic. You just put the iPhone in the center console, you drive around, I provide mind-numbingly tedious commentary. You occasionally either interject or play the melodica.
Sure, yeah.
That's a company.
Or just like a banjo that I don't know how to play.
Yeah.
There are lots of different ways.
Occasional strum or twangly bit. I love it. Well, this was a joy. This was the best way to end it. We need a pun though, sir.
Oh, to title it, yeah.
I've been knocking it around like, found one more Dohler or...
the Dohler under the seat cushion.
Yeah.
Boy.
I don't know. The Dohler under the seat cushion, though, that has a weird connotation. The long lost Dohler or...
It has to be something that is an idiom already.
Right. Well, could we do it with Don rather than using Dohler? I mean, I know we've always used Dohler.
Yeah, the last Don.
Yeah.
We really need Phil here for this. Phil always came up with a few of these.
Yeah. I don't know that... Could we get Phil on the phone, do you think?
I don't know. Talk to the producer. Can we get Phil on the line?
Yeah, sure. We'll just try it. Hang on one second. There we go. Success. Phil Rowan. It is a pleasure to have you back on the After Movie Diner, sir. We could not do what could be very well the very last Dohler episode and not speak to the third official New York Dohlerite. So a pleasure to have you back on the show, sir.
Oh, pleasure is all mine, John. Glad to be here for sure. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have been heaven and earth to make this happen, so that's fantastic.
Great. great. Yeah, I'm glad it works out. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could slice in a little piece of my schedule to make it work.
Yeah, Phil is calling, for listeners, Phil is calling in from an undisclosed secret location as he claims to be a professor of music, but we feel that that's probably just a cover for his true identity.
It may or may not be a front.
It may or may,
right.
It may or may not be a front for he's really an international beard spy of the highest order. So, sir, what has... Obviously, you haven't seen Crawler, but what has being associated with Don Dohler and the Dohlerites meant to you over this last 10 years? It's been 10 years. So.
Oh, that's all it's been? It's crazy that it's only been 10. Feels like it's been longer. Yeah, I mean, I have to think back to those days, those simpler times when we would watch those films together. And I don't know, there was something that set the Dohler films, the Dohler experience apart from others. I don't know. It was... what you would call it, zaniness or care for how things came across to the viewer.
Creativity.
Creativity, absolutely. Plot twists, all kinds of twists.
Yeah.
Unexpected happenings. Definitely lots of fun moments in the scary moments too.
Most definitely, and they were simpler times. So they were halcyon, bygone days. Since then,
right.
I mean, we've all had life experiences, but since then, sir, I mean, my goodness, have you gone from the Phil that we knew and loved to a fully fledged adult with responsibilities?
I'm all grown up.
Married with children and a music professor. I mean, my goodness, what accomplishments, sir. What accomplishments.
Children, yeah. 2 of them. And it's wild, yeah. And it certainly didn't just happen. It's been a work in progress. It's crazy. But more or less, how did that happen?
No idea, sir. Only you would know.
I got 2 kids. I got a 4-year-old and an 11-month-old. So that's its own set of challenges there and good times. I've learned a lot about picking your battles.
Of course.
It's a very important life skill.
Yeah.
Picking your battles. I think whether you have kids or not, it's a good thing to learn how to do.
As a teacher,
and teaching and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Throughout the pandemic, that was its own thing.
Yeah.
And then,
my goodness,
I wanted to quit teaching, and then I landed this job where I'm like, oh man, how did I land this? I thought I'd have to move to the suburbs to get this kind of job. So it kind of worked out. I had to stick with it, kind of thing. And that's still itself. It's still itself a work in progress. Nothing is necessarily guaranteed, But yeah.
But like Don Dohler himself,
so far, so good. Yeah, Don Dohler. Yeah,
you've persevered. You've focused on a goal, and you've persevered.
Yeah.
And it might be a work in progress, but you're steaming ahead anyway. And I feel like you've taken some of those life lessons from the Dohler method and applied them.
Yeah.
And I think it's successful for you. So the big question is, at what age do you start showing your children the works of the Dohler? Alien Factor is pretty kid friendly. There's not too much violence there. Night Beast is of course X-rated with Griffith's nudity. You don't want to show that to anyone under the age of 30, really.
Oh boy. I mean, that's a good question. I think I have to just keep an eye on what's the word? I mean, like right now he's scared of certain cartoons he watched that are just like, okay. Yeah. Like it's like it's like a dark part where they're in a cemetery or like a dark train tunnel and, something looks a little scary. He'll be scared by that, but he's only 4 right now. like I just got to see, like, as he gets older and watches different things, when does he, become more brave or not be afraid of certain things? I'll keep an eye. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah,
9, 10, 11, maybe.
That's
Seems
the sweet
like a
spot.
decent age.
That's the sweet spot, and I think you start with Alien Factor and Galaxy Invader, because they're kind of the family-friendly ones. Galaxy Invader especially, because they've got that green man guy. Everyone loves that. Although there's quite a bit of death in Galaxy Invader and abuse, so maybe start with Alien Factor. But either way, we hope that 10 years from now, I don't think the After Movie Diner will still be going, but maybe we do one episode 10 years from now where we check in and see on the next generation of Dohlerites and where we're at.
I'll certainly keep you posted whenever that does happen. Maybe I'll scaffold up to it, watch something that somehow involves something related to the films, but that's in a cartoon or something or other.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Work our way up to it,
Scooby-Doo is always a good entryway kind of to sci-fi horror for kids, and Marvin the Martian, the Warner Brothers little dude. The little, he's got like the little Roman centurion outfit on.
Yes, sir.
The little Martian guy.
We're thinking ahead now. That's good. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to be watching in the next, even year or 2 or 3.
Yeah. Or if the world is still here.
Yeah. I'm more concerned about what my kid's going to be watching the next 2 or 3 years.
True, as you should be.
That's where I'm at.
As you should be. As you should be. Don't be all doom and gloom like I am. So the other thing that Nick brought up was that you were always good at coming up with the puns for the episode titles. Another Day, Another Dohler. I think Down to Our Last Dohler. Of course, we called the last episode Down to the Last Dohler, but of course we found one more Dohler. So I don't know what to call it. I hate to put you on the spot, and I can always edit this out, but do you have any more Dohler puns in the kitty, or are you all punned out at this point?
Yeah. Dohler Bill, y'all. No.
We were trying to do like one of those
too easy.
Found one more Dohler down the back of the couch kind of thing, but we thought that was a bit long, so we were trying to kind of shorten that. That was the only thing Nick and I could come up with.
And crumpled Dohler is a little dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
But there's also Joe Ripple. But we couldn't think of one for him either. But I don't know. Maybe we just go for I found one last Dohler or something. Maybe that's the one.
Put a Dohler in the tip jar. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm spitballing.
Just spitballing, just figuring it out, just working it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
One more Dohler for the tip jar. I don't know.
One more Dohler for the tip jar. I like that. But what's the tip jar, though? But anyway, we can figure that out. All right, well, Phil, do you have any other words for either the listeners or for the Baltimore peeps, who I know love us, us New York Dohlerites? Do you have anything else you want to say? Any thanks, any memories, anything like that?
Oh, man, I don't know. Yeah, I guess just thank you for keeping the Dohler flame alive, Keep that tradition going, as well as the tradition of viewing and reflecting upon and workshopping different horror films. I can't say I'm doing that much these days, but it's good to see there's people that are sticking with it and staying true to the form.
Indeed. Well, you're doing a lot in your own way. You may not, because of children and work and other such life moments. You may not have.
Some would argue I always have been.
Yeah, you always have been keeping it alive.
For another, that's right. Nick could maybe tell you more about that, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I think you are. I like to think that every time you pick up the double bass or every time you're telling your child a bedtime story, Don and Joe are in there somewhere. That's what I like to think.
I can't. Yeah, I believe they are. Everything influences you, right? Some things more than others, but yeah, for sure.
Well, I certainly have the fondest of memories, and having done the podcast now for 10 years, and I think we did Don very early on. In fact, you, Mr. Rowan, were on the second ever episode of the After Movie Diner. You were on the Kurt Russell episode. That was the second ever episode. And it's been a journey, my friend, and we're still kicking. We're still doing stuff. I just passed my driving test, so I'm now a bit more of an adult as well. Look at that right there.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, man.
I live in Connecticut. I'm in the burbs now. I'm all burbed up. I'm going to be burbing it to the max zone. So, yeah, we all have our journeys, my friend. We all have our journeys.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yeah, we're all, we're in our different spots, but then we're also sticking with what we've kind of done all along the way kind of thing too, but evolving as we go along, that's great, man.
Evolving. I agree, sir, completely and utterly, and it has been a joy to have this excuse to reconnect with the family Rowan, and obviously I wish you and your family much success and love and all the best, and hopefully when the dust settles on this pandemic, we can all frolic again as when we were young, and maybe hang out in the park or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that would be most excellent, and I do look forward to that day happening. And it was like an honor and a pleasure to be back on this podcast and to get to chat a little bit. Definitely.
All right, man. Well, look, thanks ever so much for doing this. I know you got a tight schedule, but have a great evening. Let's speak soon, and all the best.
Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, man. Great catching up, man. Yeah, I feel like we haven't chatted in a long time, so it was definitely good catching up. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Be well.
Talk soon.
Stay healthy. Yes, sir.
Definitely, my friend. All the best.
All right, you too, John. Be well, man.
Bye. Which is also on the Galaxy Invader disc, right? Me interviewing Phil?
Yeah, there's Phil's on there too. Amazing.
I interviewed Phil over Skype, and it's now on a Blu-ray that only 8 people have, or whatever, however many Rob sent out. But that was going to be on a Blu-ray you could purchase out in the world.
Fine video goods are sold.
That was going to be a thing.
Right.
And I can only assume, and Robert has never said this, but I can only assume it was our presence in the special features and his insistence on keeping them there that made the distributor go, no thanks.
Nope, not these days. That's not how business works.
No. You don't get to just put your beardy, weirdy friends in an odd apartment in Brooklyn nattering on about Galaxy Invader and making weak jokes. You don't get to do that.
Maybe someday you will, though. We can dream.
Maybe someday.
Maybe. Wow. Totally unintentional. All coming together.
It's not totally unintentional because it's always there.
That's right.
It's always there.
Always a part of us.
Almost like Moby Shark.
Moby Shark needs its own movie.
Yeah.
With a bar band.
So we should talk. I mean, I know we said it was fantastic. We should talk about, because you're a lover of the soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
And talking about this unreleased Galaxy Invader disc, Rob tracked down Norman Knopfloch. So we're technically on a behind the scenes making of featurette with Knopfloch,
the legend himself.
Justin Timpain, lead actor, film director in his own right.
Yeah.
One of the miscellaneous plumbing fixtures, as he appears on one song of one of our albums, rapping no less.
Oh, that I forgot that was him.
And now soundtrack maestro.
Yeah, well, he did Dead Hunt too, and it's the same.
You as the musician of the two of us, I merely try. You, on the other hand, I'm a professional.
Yeah, you've only released 67 albums.
Yeah. But I've only sold 3, so.
And I bought all 3 of those.
And you bought all 3 of them. Talk to us about the Justin Timpain soundtrack before we wrap this up. Because I don't want this to end. I kind of want but I know it has to end.
Right. I mean, it was great. It was another professional orchestral And this one had a lot of propulsive rhythm stuff.
Was there a theme?
Yeah. There was a minor piano theme.
Yeah.
That kept coming back.
There was a Stover lament. After Stover
Once
passed.
his face got ripped off by the crawler.
There was a Stover lament.
Which brought to mind Dick Diezel's lament.
Yeah.
From Galaxy Invader.
Yes.
But then there was it was like the main theme also shifted into like a rock tune.
Yes.
At one point. Yeah. And there was some chanting going on, like the Omen style.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. It was
amazing.
It was great.
So it had lots of different facets to it. It always fit perfectly.
This was a best of, I feel like, or a reunion concert. You know?
Yeah, lots of different...
we had some nature shots. We didn't talk about the groundhog, but that was fantastic.
That would have been the best part of the movie.
The best part of the movie was the groundhog.
I have to assume they were out there filming, and then this groundhog shows up.
Yeah. They film a clip of the groundhog, and Don's like, I'm keeping that in my back pocket.
And wrote a little something in there for him.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. We got that sunrise shot.
Yeah, there's always a sunrise shot.
A unique sunrise shot.
Right out of Alien Factor.
Car chase.
Everything.
The car chase was excellent.
The car chase was great.
So, listen, I could wax rhapsodic about Crawler all day. And
you could wax all sorts of stuff.
I could wax all I probably should, but have not waxed. But yeah, I loved it. Thank you so much, Nick, for doing this.
Thank you for having me, as always, John.
You are always welcome. It feels, there's nothing better than the satisfying resolution of a journey.
Coming full circle.
Yeah,
bring us back home.
This is a satisfying resolution of a 10-year journey that just feels right. And I think the only way to finish it is with a word from Phil Rowan. So I'm going to contact Phil and then edit that in at that point.
That would be great.
So I think we need to end this with a word from Phil.
And now a word from
tenured professor.
That's right. The successful educator.
I mean, look at Phil's journey.
I mean, way more.
Father, husband,
of two,
tenured professor. What have we got?
I
learned to drive. And we both have long beards.
Yeah, that's about what I've accomplished. I already knew how to drive.
Right.
So, but we've all grown as people.
And as beards.
And as beards. Don't you agree, Phil?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Don Dohler, well, I just can't get over. Well, your men in rubber suits and those laser guns it always shoots. Well, Don Dohler, I love the way you always cast George Stover, and your plots are always more elaborate than the budget would normally allow. So just take me back to Baltimore. Another day, another dollar. What else is another day for? Tell to vote for Mayor Dick Diezel and for Surgeon General Getty and Frith, and my law will be Tom Griffith. When I need a man with a plan and a mustache, Don Leaford will be there in a flash, and drape the place in ladies who are buxom. And when you need something dissecting, then there's Runston. So please take me back to the basement and feed, and then I'll wax myself a fistful of Fast forward through the night, be sexy. So won't you take me, yeah, won't you take me back? Take me back to Baltimore. 'Cause another day, another dollar. What else is another day for? Yes, what else is another day for? Baltimore, movie makers, Bible score, alien factor, then comes Fiend, and the night beast, he hits scene, yeah, Dohler, Stover, Griffith, and Frith, Don Dohler's mighty tash. After cash, Galaxy later, massacre, alien rampage, and harvesters. Then come snakes, vampire sisters too. Finally they're on, and then you're through. Oh yeah, Dohler, Stover. Atlantis wrote this song. Come on, yeah. Oh, play it, Johnny. Oh, Leroy. Legacy lives on in this podcast and this song. This song, Atlantis. Come on. And don't call me Bernie.